April's Zwift Racing Series will be the PAS Racing Series, and it features 4 gravel races. So let's take a look at the best options to use for both wheels and bike frames for gravel racing. We're going to start with wheels because it's far more straightforward than the frame choices. And quick shout out to Zwift Insider for all the testing data, absolute legends of the game. Number 1 then, the King gravel wheel is the brand spanking new Roval Terra Aero CLX. This wheel won't be released until April 7th, and assuming Zwift keeps with their phased release pattern, you might have to wait a few days for the pleasure of purchasing them. If you're impatient, there is the already released and close second Zip 303 XPLR SWs, but ultimately they're slower than the Terra Aero, so long term, not a great option. The value king option, if you're lower level or haven't been spamming Stoneway Sprint, is the Reserve 25 GRs, which are available for only 83,900 drops at level 5. They're not the fastest wheel, and they're not much faster than the homebrewed Zwift gravel wheel, only edging that wheel set out by a few seconds on the climbs, but they're a cheap upgrade if you want one. Personally, I'll be buying the Revals. Now, if you're thinking all this is very expensive, if you're watching this before April 20th, there'll be a tip at the end on how to get some easy drops. On to the frames. This is where things get a bit complicated because when you factor in how much or how little you're going to gravel race, the best choice is less obvious. But from a purely meta perspective, with all else being equal, the best frame for gravel racing is the Cannondale Super X Lab 71. Now, the new Cervelo Aspero 5 is a little bit faster on the flats, but it's positively sluggish on the hills. I understand there aren't as many steep gradients in gravel racing, but the routes for the PAS series have enough climbing that the Cervelo just doesn't make sense, not when the Cannondale is effectively just as aero. The second best frame is the new Pinarello, objectively worse and more expensive, but if you're working on the Pinarello Halo bike, picking this one and gradually upgrading to level 5 could be the move. The third best frame, and a great option if you're lower level, is the Canyon Grail SLX. Not much slower than the Cannondale, but available to pretty much everyone. Your fourth option, the old daddy, the Specialized Crux. Quite a bit slower on the flats, but not horrendous on the climbs, and another bike you can use towards an eventual halo. But here is where things really get complicated, and it's why I've included the Crux, as it was the former best gravel bike and a Specialized, meaning a lot of people already have this upgraded, and upgrades matter a lot. The Crux might be slower at level 0, but if it's level 1, it's now faster on the flats. Level 2, it's faster everywhere, significantly on climbs. Level 5, and it blows the Cannondale out of the water. And that's true for any gravel bike of a similar caliber to the Crux. So if you've got a previous high-end gravel bike that you've already upgraded, you should be using that in the races. Unless, of course, you plan to ride 1,000 kilometers or so on one of the new bikes in the next few weeks. Be careful though, because not all upgraded bikes will be better. If you've got a lower tier fully upgraded bike, like the Zwift Gravel, that will still be slower than the new boys. For me, I've still not decided what I'll be using. The Rovals are a no-brainer, but as far as a frame is concerned, I'm torn between getting the Crux and starting the process of upgrading it to help shoot for the Specialized Halo, or just biting the bullet of being a meta slave with the Cannondale. If you like these quick-fire bite-sized guides, if you can shoot me a like and a subscribe, it lets me know to keep making them. Quick mention on drop farming. Step 1. Head to Stoneway Sprint on Watopia, which you can access very quickly through the Mayan 8 route. Step 2. Ride the segment, spin the wheel, and you'll collect 10,000 drops, provided you have all the cosmetic drops, which don't take long to get. Step 3. Either U-turn and ride back, and then U-turn again and ride the segment again, or teleport to one of the absolute legends that often hang out at the start of Stoneway Sprint. If you do this for an hour or two, you'll quickly have more than enough drops to kit yourself out with a respectable gravel bike and wheel set.